welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at some case knives. These are case over here. These are Rough Rider. They're just for comparison. And the question is, why would you want to collect case knives? So besides the obvious reason of buying one for EDC, why would you really want to collect these knives? So we're going to go over that a little bit and point out some of the things that are kind of unique to case and why people collect these knives so much. If you'd like to hear more about that, go ahead and check out the video. You're crazy. You're crazy. Talk funny. Talk funny.
Okay.
Put it on your neck. On your neck. On your neck.
I love it. I can tell. Let's try you.
Try me. Hey, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. Thank you so much for checking this video out. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your likes, your shares, your comments, and I just love you guys and gals. And so today I thought I'd talk about the collectability of these case knives. I'm working on a series of case knife collecting. It's really specific and detailed, and it's for, you know, a case collector. It gives them information on various aspects of collecting these knives. But you know, for the average guy, why would you collect case knives? And that's what we're going to be mainly talking about here today. There are some unique aspects to case versus other types of knives that you collect. And I guess the nearest competitor in the collecting arena to case is Rough Rider, and they're only up here for a comparison. So after we get that comparison done, we'll probably move those aside. So when you're talking about collecting knives, man, there's just thousands and thousands of options. And people do collect other knife companies like Boker, American Buffalo and Tool Company. A competitor to Rough Rider would be Frost. They have a pretty good collection of variability in their knives, and you know, people definitely collect those. But I think when you're looking at this category of traditional knives, it's going to fall down. Most people are going to fall in that category of either case or Rough Rider, or like in my case, both, right? I collect both. And so these are kind of like, I think, the main competitors in the collector knife market. And those are knives, you know, just made for collectors, for people to spend money and buy them. And they change them up. They do different things, different scales, shields, all kinds of different things, different colors, to get people to buy them and collect them. And so, you know, there's a lot of people that'll take a series like this with Rough Rider, the Sunset series, and they'll just collect every model of knife in the series. And then they'll look at another series like this copper coil series, and they'll do the same thing. And so, you know, that's what the knife companies are providing for you. So why do people collect case knives over the Rough Rider knives? Or why do some people prefer to collect case knives over the Rough Rider knives? Well, if you look at these knives, you know, the case knives look more like a traditional type of knife. They vary the colors, the patterns, those kind of things. But they look kind of more conservative and more like a traditional knife. And so that appeals to guys who are, like something that's more traditional. And if you look at these Rough Riders, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm going to say this, but it's not a negative. They have that arcade feel, right? So I don't mean that in a negative way. By arcade, I mean they're more flamboyant. The colors, the patterns, they're meant to draw you in, kind of like an arcade does. Arcade has all these spectacular colors and sounds, and you walk in there and they've got these fantastic machines that captivate you and get you to sit down and play the machines. And that's kind of the way I look at these two. It's not derogatory. These are more flamboyant, I think. And it's not that you can't find conservative Rough Riders. This isn't particularly spectacular in any way. It is very traditional. This is very traditional right here. So yeah, they make traditional knives, more conservative type of knives. This is kind of conservative, just bone, just a different kind of jigging on the bone. But overall, I think that's why people collect Rough Riders or case knives. There's a big price difference in these also. All right, so we're just going to look at case. So when you look at these knives, you see a bunch of different colors, man. This is just representative. Case has a fantastic range of colors. One thing you don't see here is synthetics represented, and Case has a tremendous synthetic line also with a lot of just really wild colors in them. And I'd like to pick some of those up. I really don't have any. I do have synthetics, but not in those wild colors. But anyhow, I did a video on collecting philosophies, and people tend to adopt a certain type of philosophy when they're collecting. And so people who like vintage knives often, the large majority of them collect bone. And most of these knives here on the table are bone. And the reason is bone can be jigged to, and it just looks fantastic. You can dye it any kind of colors, and it just looks spectacular. And whether you like these wild colors or the more muted colors, more traditional colors like this, guys just like bone. So I think most people are bone collectors, but also, and I think that's what draws most people into case knives is the bone and the different colors. So other companies do this, but to a much lesser extent than Case does, and they are just the kings when it comes to bone. Borrowed None widely recognize that they do a fantastic job on their bone, and it just draws people in. Then you got retailers who are ordering special issue knives from Case, exclusives that you can only find at that retailer, and that just kind of expands the uniqueness of the knife again, right? So Case produces a lot of different kinds of bone. Then you have the retailer saying, hey, I want this knife this way. So there's a lot of variability and collectability there. Also, you can get Case knives anywhere. And if you take, for example, like a Rough Rider, Smoky Mountain Knife Works is putting that out. You can get them a few other places, but not very many other than Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Whereas Case, it probably every knife retailer offers Case knives. And this one right here I picked up in a gas station. So I think I picked another one up here too. Yeah, it's not in the video, but yeah, I picked up two of these in a gas station. So you can literally find them anywhere. and the availability of case knives is just off the chart. They're also pretty affordable. So these knives range in price from $40 up to about 110. Now they certainly have offerings that go above that, some way above that, but just the average is 40 to 110. And I would think most of their knives that people buy fall in that range of $40 to $80. I think most people get these knives for. So they're not as affordable as this knife for sure. And that's really an argument that a lot of people make. You can collect a whole lot more of these knives. But again, it's a different type of collecting, I think, when you're looking at case knives. So overall, Case has about 148 patterns of knives, and it really swells up way past 148, maybe another 50 patterns that are not listed. And these are older knives that you can find out there. But today, in the modern era, they offer around 45 different patterns of knives, which is pretty good. I'm not really sure how many patterns that Rough Rider offers. One time I counted them up, and it wasn't as much as Case offers. Now, that said, they're not always available, the different models that Case has. I'm just talking about right now. You could go out there, you could probably find, all 48 of those patterns. Maybe one or two might not be in stock someplace, but that's about the patterns that they offer. So there's pretty good pattern variation. And when we talk about pattern, we're talking about the design of the knife. This is a Barlow, Sodbuster Jr. It's the design of the knife is the pattern. That's what we're talking about. And let's see. So we talked about why I think most people are bone collectors and collect Case for this fantastic array of bone that they have. But Case also produces a lot of knives and other materials. So you have wood, and they do just a spectacular job on their wood knives as well. And as I mentioned before, synthetics. So this is a synthetic right here. And they just have all these really fantastic designs on their synthetics. I think that's a much smaller group of people, though. And there's other things that people look for when they collect these knives. So here you see this beautiful blue and a nice red enamel case shield. So that's another thing that people look at when they're collecting. You can see this is a double bomb shield here, and it's in brass. It's a different color shield. Most are nickel silver, but this is in brass. This is one of my favorite shields here. I like this oval Case XX USA. Here's just a simple bar with a standard. That's a company that trademark Case owns a trademark for that. Here's another bar shield. Chevy. I call that a Chevy shield. I'm not really sure what Case calls it. This is a coat of arms. I think that looks like a manta ray, and so that's what I call it, the manta ray shield. Oh, look at that blue. I need to get that out of there. I don't know what that is. But that's another thing. They're looking at all these different shields that Case offers along with the knives. Just quickly, there's a barn. So this is a special issue from Tractor Supply that Case provided them with. And there's a case up there on the barn. Pretty cool. It's just another thing that people look at is the shields. Another thing to collect. Also different stampings. I probably didn't pull out. I've got some different stampings. I didn't pull them out. but people may collect them for this too. So a guy might have, a Barlow, but he may not have one that has this Case USA on it. They don't all have that. This is a Barlow from Case, and it doesn't have on. But if you look at the blade, it's a limited edition, and Case does some blade etching for people that are into blade etching. I don't particularly like stuff on my blade. I like just a standard blade, but they do that too. You can buy these with blade etching, and it's another reason to collect these knives. Just gorgeous. Look at that knife, man. Nice. So they also do, that's a limited edition. They do a bunch of these limited editions. Used to be 1 in 1,000. Now it's 1 in 2,500. But 2,500 is still a pretty small sampling when you consider they make 100,000 knives a month, 1.2 million a year. So it's and I think the collector, there's a lot more collectors out there now than there was in 1970. So Case also does the special issue knives. That's what this one is. That's what this one is right here in abalone. And you can see pretty cool. Well, let me just take it out here. It has that Case XX. Again, it's something different on the bolsters of the knife. And just fantastic, genuine abalone on this knife. Absolutely beautiful. But they do a lot of that too. So you can find these different specialty things. That's what this is right here. You can see the cool XX shield on it. Diamond XX shield. And this is 107 and I think 2,500 in this. I'm not sure. I have to look. But that is just remarkable. 3D. So this is a honeycomb. And this is actually, there's depth to this honeycomb. And inside you have all these little lines. Just really cool and beautifully done. This is a great knife, by the way. So they also do different series from time to time, and they're doing this just to increase the collectability of the knife. Here, this is one right here. This was a series they did in around 2007 to 2010, I think. And this is a classic series where this is the old marking Standard Knife Company, which Dean Case had founded. Was only the company was only in business 3 years. Case actually used this Standard Knife Company tank stamp, I think from 1920 to 23, I believe. It may have been a little bit longer than that, but they do things like that too. So a lot of different options in these Case knives, and that's why people like to collect them. And they're pretty good knives. And the other thing about these knives is just because they're pretty doesn't mean you can't use them if you want to do that. I have Case knives that I use, and then a lot of Case knives I just collect. So this is one here. I used to use this knife, EDC it, but I didn't want to mess up this antique barnyard bone on this. And so I pulled it out of the EDC rotation because of that. Look at the center end on this thing. And that's after I EDC'd this thing for 3 months, at least 3 months. And it's just straight as a board. Straight as an arrow. Straight down Broadway. Big J. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. They're a fantastic option for you, I think, if you're just like collecting things. But also, I think they're a good knife. A lot of guys use these knives, hard to use them every day, and they do just fine in that capacity. They're affordable. They're available. A lot of different patterns. I don't know how many patterns I have of the modern ones. I probably only have about half of the modern patterns. I have a lot of patterns that are older, vintage, pre 1970, but I think I only have around 24 of these modern knives here, something like that, 24, 27, something like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate the support, and thanks again.